All right, everyone. Welcome to the Battlecast.
Battlecast.
Yeah, put an echo out there. That'd be cool. What is up? I'm BitW Zan, joined by my good friend Secret Kitty, Minister E, and Mazentius on the East Coast.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, I mean, of course you have to be here. You're part of the group, man. You're not. I don't even know if you're considered a guest anymore. Okay, it's like the whole thing with family. Like, yeah, once you're on 3 times, then you get your own damn soda and stuff like that. You don't need to ask.
No longer a guest. Copy that.
Yeah. So, what we're doing, and we are the Ichiban Gamer Club, and what we're doing is introducing a little new show we got going on here, I guess. It's called the Battlecast, and I thought it'd be interesting because I know we usually do have the capture the point debate, but that's usually a one-on-one thing with the judge and an audience member. For this, I kind of like the idea of all 4 of us kind of like chiming in and getting into a big old battle, which might, depending on how this turns out, it might be really fun, or it just might be a lot of nonsense with us screaming over each other.
Sounds good
And it's
to
like
me.
like would be ununderstandable. Like you couldn't make out anything we were able to say. So I thought it'd be a good idea. And with the upcoming Avengers Infinity War coming out,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good time to do the best and worst of the MCU. Now, each Battlecast might be something different. So for this one, we went with the MCU. If we do another one in the future, we might do something different. And this is just like some other stuff we're doing. Like we're toying around with different ideas, so that way we're not just doing the same stuff every week. We might rotate between this, capture the point, and some other ideas we got floating around. So we thought we'd try out this one for this week and do something different.
Nice.
So, okay. The way this is going to go down is we're not going to, everybody has their preferences for the Marvel movies, for the MCU specifically. As I pointed out before the podcast started, this is our MCU movies directly. This is not anything before. So, Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man series, the Sam Raimi ones, those are like kind of like off the table. These are just strictly Marvel MCU movies we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be primarily dealing in the best and worst of them. So even though we all have a list of them, we're not going to run down each list, or each movie in a list or anything like that. It's not about ranking. It's just about what we feel are the best movies and the worst movies of the MCU. So there will be a lot of people interrupting, a lot of people interjecting their ideas. Like I kind of like ran down the rules with you guys beforehand. Like, if somebody's saying one of their movies is the best one and you have it much lower down on your list, then yeah, feel free to chime in and try to berate that movie. So that's what it's all about. So like I said, we'll see the way this goes. Hopefully it's not a complete nonsensical, like incoherable mess, and we might get something entertaining out of this. So since I kind of like thought this whole thing up, I will start us off then. And I'll say, when I think of the best movie in the MCU, there's only one movie I can think about. And I think it's on a lot of people's lists. Well, it's got to be near the top, and that's Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah, buddy.
When I think top notch, like top of the list, it's Captain America Winter Soldier. Like, I don't see how anybody else can like think of anything else when this movie
serious?
Like it changed. Yeah. Not only did it reinvent and change the character of Captain America, it changed a big portion of the MCU.
Yeah, that was
like, it had sent out waves. It sent out waves for like this group that was already in place, which was SHIELD, and how it was infiltrated by Hydra.
Hang on 1 second,
it affected
Sam.
not only that, but the TV show.
Hang on 1 second, Zach. Secret, I think I just heard you say why.
Yeah.
You're going to have to chime that in. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 100% on Zan's side with this. Winter Soldier is a 10 out of freaking 10. That movie from beginning to end is great. So tell me what you can pick apart.
I don't think it's a bad movie, but I didn't think it was like top priority. Like, I didn't watch it till much later, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And that was it.
Go ahead, Sam. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Where does this movie fall for you then? Like, where would this movie fall?
In the middle. It's not bad. It's not like
in the middle. Oh my god.
So usually me and For the audience out there,
Voice
usually
crack
being secret is usually on the same level. We're on the same mindset. We're usually battling together. But this is the first time that she has betrayed me and attacked me.
No, like when you
MCU.
when you think about this movie, like it brought there's a different genre into it. It brought the spy thriller into Captain America, which is like, and it created this great feeling for this movie where it was like, oh, okay, Captain America doesn't have to be this cheesy, like super American propaganda guy. Like it can be an interesting story, and like because he has interesting stories in the comics. So like the fact that they dive into that and like create this like really like intriguing thriller of a movie that like keeps you like in suspense, and like then they do the whole like twist at the end where like Hydra infiltrated Shield and everything, and you're just like, wow, like this movie is nuts. And like not even like talking about the action, which was phenomenal. It was all good, and all the other stuff was good, but just that aspect of it where like it just changed the way we have to like watch, you know, this character.
I mean,
was really good. After this, like he was put to the front line. Like Captain America was like in the Avengers 1, it was kind of like,
trash.
yeah, okay, he's here.
Yeah, it wasn't trash. It wasn't trash, but it was bottom tier. Like people was not like, oh yeah, I'm on Captain America's side. Like I love Captain America. You know, it was Winter Soldier that put him over on the top.
Absolutely.
He didn't feel like a leader in that first Avengers. It felt like Iron Man was the leader.
Yes, or sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was. Yeah, it was all around Iron Man kind of a thing, and Captain America was just there, like everybody was just making fun of him and looking like a fool. But then after Winter Soldier, like the audience and the people in the movies kind of like, all right, yeah, we have to treat this guy with respect because he's a mainstay. This movie put him over.
Hang on now, Kitty. I don't want him to seem like we're ganging up on you. You go ahead and you air it out. What you saw in there that was kind of mediocre.
I mean, like you said, there's nothing bad about it, but I'm like, I wasn't like left with an impression. You know, like all the Marvel movies are generally pretty good, except for some of them where I was like, ugh.
So what would you put as your top?
Yeah.
Actually, my top one was the first Avengers.
Okay.
That's what I said
not bad.
as my top one. So,
but sorry to say
and then actually my worst one, I think, is Avengers 2. It felt really Disney.
Oh, I'm gonna chime in. You know what, Dad? I'm gonna let you continue.
That's a big drop.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you continue.
No, I don't have to continue. We can trend. We can like, hey, we can go over this. We can go to Kitty now. The way it goes. Let's go.
Yeah. So I really like the first Avengers. You know, like it has that cool feeling of like everybody getting together, and the action was good, and you get to see them all together, and that was cool. But then in the second one, I was like, this feels so Disney. The jokes were so like blah, and then like the villain was and it just wasn't that great.
I'll give
I like how her descriptions aren't like words; they're just like blah.
I'll give you that.
Like it's just feelings. Like I don't know. Like it was just blah.
It's not as good as the first Avengers. I'll give you
You should be a critic.
But
put that on a poster.
The movie was still good.
This movie was
still good. It still gave you awesome fight scenes. We got to see the Hulkbuster armor in full effect, done in a different way and actually pretty good. Ultron, no, he's not the best bad guy, but it wasn't painful for me to watch him on screen like people are saying. People are like, oh, this is like the worst bad guy. I was like, not really. It's an intelligent.
Yeah.
Where did you put Avengers 2 then for you?
Avengers 2 is in the middle for me.
Yeah,
to me, it's the middle ground. If it's worse,
so what is
if it's
your
worse than
bottom?
Avengers,
I'll say my worst are stuff.
It's better. It's good.
The stuff, the stuff I find the worst are things that are like really bad or things that I found like really forgettable.
Like
yes,
Thor,
the original Thor.
Thors. Everything before
that's pretty
whoa, the original Thor? The original Thor is like number 8 for me.
I'm talking about the second movie.
Okay. Thor 2, yes.
Yeah.
First one was weak too, man.
No, I don't know about that. I enjoyed the.
I enjoyed pillow right there in the
I would say
theater and go to
of all the
sleep
first movies,
on the
first movies, the one I found the worst was actually Captain America. Captain America's first movie was probably the worst one, and that one was worse than Thor.
I can't say that.
Champ.
I can't.
I'm gonna
go, the worst of the
I'm gonna go Thor on almost the worst one right there. Thor 1, not Thor 1, Thor 2. Thor 2 is the worst.
The worst first? Are you talking about just phase 1?
Yeah, I'm talking about just like that one. like this is their first
The
movie.
main Avengers.
Yeah. Between Captain America, Thor, Iron Man 1, like all those. I think Thor is probably the worst one. I mean, Captain America.
Yeah, Thor.
Captain America was the worst one because that one.
I don't know, man. What about the Incredible Hulk?
That one I
Is
put
that
on the list of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That one I put on the
It
list of
is.
forgettable
That's not Sony?
movies. No, that was not.
It's
I don't think
it's
it's
considered an MCU movie.
No, it is.
It is an
an
MCU
I don't
movie.
know.
That was after they got it.
Like when
That
you
was-
when
that
you
was Ed
buy when
Norton.
you buy like the pack, when you buy the pack, like the MCU pack for Phase 1, Incredible Hulk is in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
shit.
it's the same like person in the movie.
No, it
No,
isn't.
no, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's the same story. It's kind of like they tied in the stories a little bit.
Even
but
the first Hulk movie.
Ed Norton did the original one, and Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk
Wait.
now.
Oh, I
It's-
thought it was the same.
You're talking about the Incredible Hulk. That's MCU. What about the first Hulk movie?
Yeah,
that's
Oh, the original Hulk. No,
That's not.
MCU.
No.
Okay,
That's
so
not MCU.
even though the
I'm talking about the Incredible
Hulk
Hulk.
sucked balls, I still think Thor
Oh,
2 takes the
dang.
cake. Because
I-
Thor 2
I
is
I think
didn't-
that's very.
I didn't think the Incredible Hulk was bad. I just think it was forgettable. Cause like the fight scenes between him and Abomination were done really good, and like the
Exactly.
story of the Hulk was actually done well. But it didn't really leave an impact
no
further on into the series.
Yeah, the movie wasn't too good, but Thor, the second movie.
So how did Captain America not? How did Captain America fail the first Avenger? Then?
It was
'Cause
boring.
I don't have it that low. What?
It was a boring movie.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
That
I
movie was
agree with
fun.
Nez on this one.
It was silly.
It was boring.
It was like
You're a Cap
it was,
fanboy.
was
You're not.
boring.
You're not judging this equally.
It was boring.
Listen,
Yeah,
my
that
fanboyness
show was slow.
prevents me from putting him at the bottom of the list. Captain America is right neat in the middle, directly in the
Hell
middle
no.
of the
Hell
list.
If Winter
Right where he
Soldier
needs
wasn't
to be.
actually a good
No.
movie, I would accuse you of you being a fanboy there too. But it's actually good. It's like
Let me tell you something. That Captain America movie was boring.
And number 2 is Civil War. Captain
How many
America
people
Civil War.
watched
that's your
That's my-
fanboyness coming out again.
No.
How-
Oh, so you telling me Civil War is not a good number 2 movie?
I put
Come
other
on.
movies above it.
What movies
I-
are
I would
that
put-
thing is
I would
another
put-
is another like
I
landscape
would put
changing
Black
movie.
Panther or Thor Ragnarok above that movie.
Really?
Oh well, okay. Black Panther's not on my list because I haven't seen it
Black
yet, so I couldn't
Panther-
include it.
Can be.
It's in the
I
top
wouldn't
there somewhere for me.
I would have put Thor Ragnarok above the Civil War.
Thor Ragnarok is number 4 for me, so I put it pretty high up. It's not in my top 3 thing, but it's number 4. So it's up there.
Ci-
Thor
Civil
Ragnarok.
War
Seen
has
that.
Civil War has a better pace than Thor Ragnarok. Civil War is like steady pace all the way through. Like you don't get bored. You don't miss a beat. It explains what it's doing and it goes through. Thor Ragnarok, a couple of stretch scenes that could have been trimmed.
Well, we already know how you feel about Thor Ragnarok, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
use of comedy, but
His forced humor,
Yeah.
as he
And
said.
like I said,
I don't need to
I
see-
enjoyed
here's
Thor
the thing.
Ragnarok
Look,
a lot.
Let's talk about Thor. I don't need to see Thor in a room that's a circle that goes around, endlessly, and him have a banter. I mean, even though
Okay.
the banter between him and the Rock Monster was funny, the Rock Monster was extremely funny.
But you
that
talk
thing
about the scene like it lasted 30 minutes. It was like a 30-second scene.
No, it wasn't no 30 seconds.
It was a 30-second
It
scene.
was 30
Yes, it
seconds.
was.
It was.
It was literally a 10-second
was
joke
not
that the guy was
30
like, "Oh yeah,
seconds.
it's a weird circle." Cut away to something
Not
else.
30 seconds.
It was not.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, they came back to that room. They came back to that room,
but
but
he's talking about the hammer.
Well, you gotta like hold up because Kitty hasn't seen it yet, so don't spoil too much.
Damn it.
Yeah, I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok.
Y'all don't stop me.
So
either.
like, just keep it on a general
All right.
basis here because she hasn't seen it yet.
So,
but like,
plenty of those scenes.
they do come back to that. They do come back to the room, but they don't reference they don't do the circle joke again. It's just a one-time thing and 10-second scene. That's it.
No, but the whole scene is longer than that, though. He's in that room talking with that dude for
No, it's
quite
not.
some time. He's talking with the. You know what? I can't even go through this
Mm-hmm.
because there's going to be spoilers in there. So,
Oh.
Kitty, I'm gonna save this one.
Even with
We're
that,
gonna-
I
let's
still
go back to the
I
matter
still
of fact.
enjoyed
We'll
that
go
a
back
lot.
let's go back to Captain America.
Clapping and everything.
Let's go back to Captain America.
Yep.
Captain America was boring.
What about Captain America?
The
Captain
first
America
one was
is a
boring.
fine movie. It's not
It
The first one was
boring.
not good.
The first one was kind of boring.
It's not. It's a good starter for Captain America, and
No,
it
it
sets
could've been
things in
faster.
motion.
It was
It could've been
it was
faster.
a
It was
movie.
slow
I
paced
agree.
as fuck.
It's a movie that had to happen for Captain America because that's his origin story. But his origin story is so boring.
Oh,
Whoa!
snap.
You tell
Oh,
me all the
shit.
scenes that happen, like with him fighting and him like doing this cool stuff. That's
Tell
boring.
me
Are you
all
serious,
the
man?
scenes
Come
where
on.
he's on stage doing the same play over and over again is
Oh
not boring.
yeah,
That's
get him, man.
it was a little bit of
That was
funny.
not funny
It
at
was a
all.
little bit of
That was
humor
not funny.
interjected into the
No.
movie. It's a little bit, and it showed everybody that hey, we can't do this Captain America outfit for this reason.
No.
We
The
didn't
only
need
good
to
thing
see
about
him
it
for
was
2
good
minutes straight
propaganda,
doing
like,
The only
good,
good
like,
thing that came out of that movie was
a
the
genre
uniform
type
he
movie.
had, and that's it. Because he had a good looking.
It was a good
costume.
genre type
What's your
movie.
take
It
on
was like
this
this whole
secret?
like
What's your take
American
on it?
propaganda
I haven't
thing.
heard you mention anything about this movie here. What's your take on it?
It's
I mean, if she thought Winter Soldier was I could imagine.
yeah. I mean, like it's below Winter Soldier. It's like I don't know. It's not the best.
sorry.
Also,
I thought you guys ran in the classes or circles. I didn't know I was dealing with the gutter trash.
You're
people
letting
who don't like
your
Oh
fanboy
my
show.
God.
Oh,
You're
here
letting your
we go.
fanboy show.
Here we
I
go.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I get everybody's top here because like I know we've been talking about Captain
All right,
America
let's
here,
get everybody's
and I
top.
know
Yeah.
I know I mentioned my top and Kitty mentioned her
All right.
tops, like the best of the movies and stuff like that. I want to make sure I get everybody's. Minister, what'd you say was your top movie or best movie
For
for
the MCU,
MCU?
I have to go Winter Soldier because that was a 10 out of 10. It was a good movie from beginning
Okay.
to end, and there's nothing I could do to tear it apart at all.
Okay,
Men?
Mez, did you say what yours
No,
was
I
already?
mean, for me, it was in between Winter Soldier and the original Avengers, just because the original Avengers kind of like was that thing that,
Defining.
yeah, it was the leapfrog for all of this. It made
Yeah.
everything in that first phase like come together, and that's what kind of started this whole big thing they have going on now.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
even
So generally, we seem to all
Yeah.
agree on the top movies. Then it looks
that
like.
like
How do you guys? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like beyond like it being an actually good movie, it was what it did for that MCU altogether that kind of made it on the top of the list.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How do you guys
What were you
feel
gonna say,
about
Kitty?
Doctor Strange?
I like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
I like
is up
Doctor
there.
Strange.
Doctor Strange
there.
is
It's up there.
it's
for me,
lower
too.
middle for me. It's lower
It's
middle.
up there. It's
What?
up there.
It's lower middle.
It's up there for
It's
me
below
too.
Captain America. It's below the original Thor.
Hey, wait.
It's
Damn.
below Guardians. It's below
Damn.
Guardians
Wow.
What?
Oh, you say the original Captain
That is
America?
insulting,
Oh, you say
sir.
the first Captain
That
America?
is.
Did you say the first Captain America's below?
Yes.
Hell no.
too. Yes.
You have that movie unfairly high.
Hell no. Let me tell you something about Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was supposed to be. It should have been a longer movie. Captain America, the original movie,
What?
should have been a
Oh,
shorter
you keep
movie.
saying longer
Should have
movie.
been a
That shit was
shorter
like
movie.
2 hours and a
No,
half.
we needed,
It was
we needed
really
to learn.
good.
We needed to learn more about that those other dimensions, but the movie was too short. That is
Yeah.
not a takeaway.
It was
That's a good
interesting,
thing.
but
I've said it.
I
I've
like
said
to
As
it
far
judge-
as the
I like to-
first Captain America movie goes,
I
that
like to
movie
judge
could've been
movies-
chopped up.
the way I
Wes
respond to
says,
the MCU
I don't need
movies.
to see Captain America dancing with the showgirls for 2 minutes.
He wasn't dancing. Hold on now. Don't add that shit to this. He wasn't dancing or anything.
His choreography
Man was lifting up a
or
motorcycle
whatever.
and he was putting on a show for the troops. Do you hate the troops? Is that what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, man.
Oh my
That
God.
Captain America is way too high on your list, and I can agree with Bez on that. That thing needs to be knocked down quite a few more pegs because it has
Okay,
some
what
boring parts.
Zan, what were you gonna say about Doctor Strange?
Me?
Listen, I like the way I judge these movies are like on replay value because like we've all kind of agreed the MCU it has the formula, right? So like it's not every movie is kind of like doing a lot of the same stuff. You know, it's generally a lot of the humor, a lot of the action, a lot of the story is generally like a lot of cut and paste features, right? So the way I think about MCU movies is like replay. I'm like, how many of these movies will I actually go back, or which of these movies would I actually like prefer to go back and watch? That's why like besides Winter Soldier just being as good as a movie it is, that's the movie I can go back and watch all on its
That's an
own. Like I don't
unfair-
need any of the other
That's an
MCU
unfair
movies.
way to judge.
It's not an unfair thing.
here's the
Why? Why is it an
if
unfair
there's a
thing?
surprise ending to a movie, then that replay value is going to diminish a lot more than if there is no surprise ending. For instance,
No, because
for
you can
instance,
still get
Book of
good,
Eli.
you can still
If you-
get a lot of
if you watch
value
the
from the
Book of
movie
Eli,
in itself.
You're not going to get that same effect with that great
That's
ending.
crap.
And that's
So
the
you
same
telling
thing-
me? Oh, you telling me people don't like watching The Empire Strikes Back because of a surprise twist at the end? Get out of here,
it
dog!
diminishes.
Come on.
If
A
you're gonna
good movie is a
compare-
good
if you're gonna
movie. It doesn't
compare,
matter
it's
if it has a
gonna
surprise
diminish.
twist.
If it had that surprise ending, you're not going to get that effect again. And Doctor Strange was one of the movies that had a great ending. Everyone's seen it here. That ending, spoiler alert, but the way he beats Dormammu in the end was pure genius. It was not, a fist fight. It was smart. You can't get that back after the first time you watch it. You already know how it
can't do that just throwing shields around and shit. Putting on shows for the troops.
I tell you what, though, if it was Captain America, he'd be in there fighting that motherfucker to the end.
He'd still be there.
Fighting until the very last breath.
There we go, man. I think you're right. It's the fanboy joint that man put Captain America up there.
Listen,
but like, I would agree with Eve. One thing when he saw Doctor Strange, when he said he felt like there could have been more. It's like one of the first things I said when I got out or finished watching the movie was like, I could have watched that movie for like a half hour more,
Hell yeah,
and not be upset.
Not Captain
America. There's certain movies
one,
when you feel like a movie is dragging. That's a movie where I could have actually sat there for longer and still enjoyed it because the pacing was done so well and there was so much stuff they could have done with that interesting story.
Yeah, want more.
And that's what you want to be with a movie.
I don't know what you guys saw then, because like as I'm watching this movie, I'm like this is a good movie. It's a good movie.
Strange
I put it like, to me it's a good movie on the level of like Ant-Man, where it's it's a good movie. But once I watch it, like, do I want to watch this again? No, I don't. I'm okay. Like, I'm good. Like,
so you judge it based on
it's like that. Like Ant-Man had that appeal to me, and Ant-Man is like bottom 3 for me.
I love Ant-Man because of the tiny things. It makes up everything for me. Tiny things.
Like Ant-Man is bottom 3. He's not at he's like number 1 of the top of the bottom 3. Because like below there's still two more movies below that. But Ant-Man is kind of a movie that I watched just to watch it, and it wasn't like I wasn't an Ant-Man fan or anything like that. But I was like, oh yeah, this is a good movie. It's pretty good. Okay, got through it. Will I watch this movie again? No, I won't. Probably not. Maybe if it's like a marathon thing we're doing or something like that. But like on my own time, no. There's way more movies I would watch above Ant-Man and Doctor Strange too. Or Doctor Strange, I mean.
Ant-Man was really funny. It's probably the funniest one.
I'll say
How many times have you watched it since you first came out?
Well, I don't. Come on. I don't watch movies repeatedly like that, anyways. Even movies that I love.
There we go.
Then just judging it on when it came out, it's not a movie that like it was good at its core, but like is it like I'm saying like just judging it like that, like just judging it like if you're just gonna watch it once and that's it.
But that's like, because you have different standards. You have replay value. That's your thing. Mine is not that. I have to like fucking pay for it to watch it again. I'm not gonna do that unless it's on Netflix.
But even if you wouldn't want to watch it on Netflix, like, would you watch this movie over other movies then? Like, over the other ones over the other MCU movies.
Yeah.
Your criteria is different from hers. Like hers is like how she felt when she watched it. Yours is would I watch it again? That's two completely different criteria of judging a movie.
But that's what I was saying. Like, even if I judge it on the criteria that she has, like how I felt when I was watching it, I didn't get any feeling from it like I did from watching the other ones at the time. Like when I watched Winter Soldier, Civil War, and all these other movies, Thor Ragnarok, I was like super entertained and wanted to watch more. For Ant-Man, I was like, okay, it's a good movie, but it's not like the best thing I've ever seen. Like it's just a Marvel movie that I want to get through. It wasn't like, oh yeah, it's funny. Like Paul Rudd is funny. The other dude was funny. Like it's not like in the negatives or anything like that. But there was no feeling from me that I got from it where I was like, oh, this is better than Winter Soldier or better than Iron Man or anything like that. Like
so, so we could go through the list then. So what you got next? I'm shocked. Where were we at? You were at like the second.
For what? For worse?
For yours, like you had what? Winter Soldier, somehow.
Oh, Civil War. I tell you, Civil War.
And then what?
Then Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, I would say Spider-Man: Homecoming is up there too. I mean, I don't know if I would put it in that same order because like.
Again, like this is me not watching Black Panther, so if I watched it, maybe it would have changed for me, and like Black Panther would have been higher. But as it is, like I haven't watched it, and I got with the movies that I watch now, Spider-Man: Homecoming is like I would say is up there as my number 3 best movie. For the worst movie that I got, like bottom tier for sure, bottom of the list, I put Thor 2. Thor Dark World.
I could agree with that.
Like that, it's that movie. Watching it,
I don't even remember watching it
like,
twice.
By any criteria, that movie's terrible.
Watching it twice. I don't think I did watch it twice at all. And I usually give all Marvel movies a second look. I don't think I saw it twice.
So like I was saying earlier, like I felt like for me, like there was movies there that like I could say were definitively bad, like Thor Dark World, because I remember it being bad. Then there's movies that I found kind of like forgettable, and that's like Iron Man 3, where I'm like, I don't remember if it was good or bad because I don't remember the movie at all.
It was mediocre at best.
So like that's
Iron Man 3 is at the bottom for
Like
me
that-
too. It's right in between Ant-Man and
that's a
Thor.
movie for me that's completely forgettable.
Yeah, it's above Thor.
Like,
Did you say?
Two.
Okay, what is everybody else's? I want to make sure everybody gets their
Everybody's
thing.
bottom?
Kitty, did you say what your bottom one
Yeah,
was?
it was
Your-
Avengers 2.
Oh yeah, you said Avengers 2. Minister, did you say what yours was? Your
Yeah,
bottom,
I
bottom
did
list.
I did say Thor 2 was worse than the Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, so Thor for you
Well,
as
it
well
was
then.
compared
Thor
to
2
Hulk, yeah.
or Thor?
It's Thor. Thor 2.
Okay.
Thor 2 sucked about balls.
Okay, and Mez,
Yeah,
you said
Thor
the same
2.
thing, or? So okay, so that's the general consensus there. I mean, Avengers 2, it is towards the bottom. I'm not
Avengers
gonna
2 's
lie.
in the
I mean,
middle,
I'm not gonna say like it was
Yeah.
middle.
ground, man.
I don't know about middle.
Middle ground.
I put it like really low.
Middle ground.
It's like kind of low-ish.
Had great.
Like I said,
great
it's not a movie
action,
that like.
decent story. You know, they created an AI, and the AI followed the protocol.
Uh,
I would say like
mm,
going to like what we were talking about before too with that Justice League things, like based off what the source material could have been with Ultron, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on what they could have done with him.
yeah.
Really?
I agree.
I mean,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they could have done
He's not
so
that
much
menacing
more.
to me.
Ha.
Like.
This would have been
He's
like this
speechless.
movie. Like no, it's true because like this movie, like he wasn't meant,
If he-
and it sucks because
they could've-
it feels like a lot of these characters that we got in the bottom here, is the stuff like that, are characters that was during that time where Marvel didn't really like weren't putting that much emphasis on their villains. Like it kind of just felt like they were doing the same thing with each of their villains, right? Where you got like, you know, even the Guardians, which was a good movie, and I put it pretty high up, had a pretty like less than stellar villain. Like he was just a mediocre guy, and it was just during that time where between Thor 2, Iron Man 3, you know, freaking Avengers 2, and Guardians, the villains weren't really fleshed out. They were kind of just like, we need a bad guy, throw this person in there, and like have him say whatever, world domination, what we don't care.
Like
you know,
to this point, I don't remember who the villain was for Iron Man 3.
And you'll never see me coming.
Like I'm trying to think about
Yeah.
it, and I don't remember who
It
it was.
was. It's Mandarin, I think, but it wasn't really Mandarin.
it was the Mandarin.
Oh yeah, it was.
But it wasn't the Mandarin. Like it was an Ease Mandarin.
All right.
Yeah,
He's not
it
the
was a
Mandarin.
fake one.
That
Yeah.
was Extremis. That was who the bad guy was. The Extremis storyline, which is pretty much new, and they took it and they destroyed the Mandarin, which had a freaking fantastic character story. Terrible.
It would have been good with
Regular
old boy in it, Ben Kingsley playing him.
Yes.
But then they changed it, and it was like, oh, it was a Guy
They
Pearce,
could've-
and he was the Mandarin,
Yeah.
really,
They could have went anyway with
and
it.
he had
They could have
powers.
said, hey, he has these 10 freaking rings that he powers from an Infinity Stone. They could have did anything to make him relevant and chose to do nothing
Yep.
with it. Fuck that movie, man. You know what? I'm gonna knock that movie down a peg somehow. Not that thing down a peg. That thing pissed me off just talking about it.
I,
What are you gonna say, Kitty?
I still want to see Fing Fang Foom in one of these movies, so.
Oh my god.
That was
You know what? You know what
was a
sucks about
real-
Iron Man 3 is that if it had come out now, because the thing with Iron Man, the Iron Man series, like the way the MCU originally started, right? It was much more based in like tech, right? It wasn't like, oh, let's have this big cosmic stuff happening, right?
Yeah.
Because they were trying to shy away from that. It was Guardians of the Galaxy that kind of introduced that whole thing. Like it kind of started it with Thor in a bit. But Thor was still like saying like, oh, what your, you know, science and magic kind of go hand in hand. But then Guardians kind of like blew that out of the water, and it was like, oh, this whole cosmic shit is going on.
Yeah.
So now Marvel isn't afraid to go a little bit silly and cosmic with things, like with the way Thor Ragnarok
Thanks to
went.
Doctor Strange.
But with Iron Man 3, they were still kind of like scaling that back, and it was like, well, we can't have the Mandarin with the 10 rings and having all these superpowers because we haven't introduced that in this universe yet. And if it would have come out now, like if Iron Man 3 would have come out now, they wouldn't be as afraid to go nuts and be like, yeah, let's let, you know, the Mandarin be who he is, and not have it, not trying to explain it away with like, oh yeah, I have all these powers, but it's because of science. It isn't because of like magic.
I think,
They could have gone with like
they could've
alien
what
went
they
with
did.
Infinity
like that.
Stone. They could have said they could have got his power from an Infinity
Yeah.
Stone and got his rings charged up and then used
That
it.
still wasn't even a developed thing either.
Yeah.
Like the Infinity Stones weren't exactly a thing yet either. Like I mean, I know they had the Tesseract at
Tesseract.
first, but that was after Avengers.
Oh, they could have done something, man. They could have done it. They could have made it technology Because the Mandarin is also very.
The Iron Man series wasn't about that though. That's the whole thing. The Iron Man series wasn't about that.
Yeah.
And we might not get that. So, because who knows what's gonna be, Robert Downey's future and stuff like that.
The one with the worst extremist storyline of all time.
I'm gonna start a petition for Fing Fang Foom.
In what series? Like an Avengers series?
Sure, wherever you want to put him. I just want to see a fucking dragon.
I want to see a fucking dragon.
I'm trying to think who would actually work with Fing Fang Foom. See, Fing Fang Foom debuted as a Fantastic Four villain, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe with the whole way that things, the rights and all that stuff coming back for a lot of those movies with done by Fox.
A good X-Men movie.
We can get a Fantastic Four movie, so there might be a chance that he can do it.
Nah, they're gonna go with Doctor Doom, I think. Maybe.
But I mean but they have material for the future.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna suggest any other hero to do it for this current MCU, it would have to be Thor, right? He's the only one that would have
Thor
to be this crazy.
Hulk.
Oh yeah, Hulk.
Yeah.
That's the two people you would have to go with because they're the most outrageous ones.
Yeah.
Although Hulk, Hulk could be in another Thor movie anyway. He seems to be part of his group, so it'll be kind of the same thing anyway. Hulk's not gonna get his own movie ever again.
Oh.
I mean, World War Hulk could probably happen.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because people are.
That'll still be an Avengers thing, I think. That would not be a Hulk movie.
Yeah, they should do it as Avengers World War Hulk. That would be good.
Yep.
Because you can't give.
It'll be an Avengers thing, or it'll be how they did Captain America: Civil War. It'll be, under another hero's banner or something like that. It won't be like an Incredible Hulk movie.
He's better as a side character, anyways.
And I think they said it's because it's something with negotiations with Universal, right?
Yeah, Universal owns the rights to that movie, so they can't put out a straight up Hulk movie anyway.
Good. He's better as a
It'll have to be Universal who does that.
He's better as a side character.
Yeah.
So I know one that you've talked about before, and I want to see where it is for you right now is Guardians 2, because you have shit on this movie in the past,
shit!
Quite
My
often.
bottom might be changing. Hang on.
Oh my
How
God.
dare you, Mister?
No,
That is
no.
not a bottom tier
Thor 2
movie. That is not a bottom tier movie.
It's so good.
So Guardians 2
The baby
is
Groot.
above Thor 2. It's the second worst.
Why do you hate it?
Can't believe you're saying
Because
this.
it's trash. It's
Are you
not
saying
even
Guardians 2 is worse than Captain America?
Yes!
Yes,
it is.
Captain
Yes, it
America is middle of the road movie.
Yes,
It's
it
good.
is. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 fails in so many aspects.
What?
I disagree.
It does.
I disagree too.
It doesn't even.
Like in
it
what
doesn't
though?
even-
I want to get
it doesn't
specifics
even
because you've
follow
talked about it before.
Behind the original movie, it doesn't even follow the stuff because all right, first movie, Gamora and Drax, their strength level. At one point in time, you thought Drax is stronger than Gamora. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, she's picking up a huge ass fucking machine gun the size of Cincinnati and carrying it with the greatest of ease. And it's like they just took they took the material.
It's not like they showed that Drax couldn't do that. It's like it just means Drax is more powerful than her. How's that not following their own narrative?
The movie is inconsistent and terrible. The interactions between the characters went bananas. They went nuts.
I loved it. Oh my God.
Like for what? Like what kind of interactions? Because you would think that in a second movie the people would be more comfortable with each other, so they wouldn't be as hostile and be more friendlier, and yeah, they would probably joke around with each other much more. They've been with each other for a little bit of a while now and stuff.
The movie from beginning to end is completely off. All right, let's go with Star-Lord and Gamora.
Wait. First of all, the beginning of the movie is fucking adorable.
Hang on,
Baby Groot dancing.
Wait a minute. That was probably the best part of the movie. Hang on, you might be onto something right there.
Oh my God.
That beginning part was probably the best part of the movie. Wasuda's Star-Lord's father and got introduced into the picture. It went downhill, never came back up. Yeah, I think you absolutely.
But why?
But the deception.
No suspense whatsoever. With Rocket out there fighting all the dudes by himself. And then it's just...
He wasn't by himself, but okay.
It was just like a big old joke, and he's just bouncing them all over the place. Felt empty. It wasn't humorous. It wasn't suspenseful. It was just a scene happening on the screen. Like, okay, good. He's just gonna beat the shit out of these guys, nice and easy. That's a waste. That's a waste of
super smart,
10 minutes. Let's go over to...
That was not even 10 minutes.
I don't understand. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't know where he gets his time, like his time distortion from or whatever, but like
10 minutes. All right, that's how long. It was too long.
It wasn't a 10-minute scene.
Long.
Again, it wasn't a 10-minute scene. Just like Thor Ragnarok, it wasn't a 10-minute scene.
Long.
Secondly, usually, like you would adore these kind of characters who don't use brute strength, but like a cunning mind in order to trap villains and stuff like that. That's pretty much how he like got them. Was like he like outwitted them into falling for his trap, and then he went like a little bit nuts or whatever.
The way you explain it is awesome. The way that it is portrayed on screen is a big joke.
No, it's the way you portrayed it,
and not a funny one. Because you would think, okay,
it's like he tricked them. That's what happened on screen.
He's got a plan. He's by himself. You kind of feel that tone, and then they're gonna bounce him up in the air for a couple of seconds, and it just felt unsuspenseful whatsoever. It felt like a waste. There was nothing in that scene that had content. What was that scene about? Oh, he's smarter than these minions. Oh, big whoop. Next scene.
But didn't it lead to him being captured too? Which ultimately brought him to Yondu?
Here's where this movie actually gained points. By who? Nebula. Pretty much the only interesting character in that movie is Nebula.
So that scene was used to set up Nebula then. Like that's what it did. You said what's the sin? But she's established as a main character because she's in the new Avengers movie too. So they're building her up as a main character. So this scene was used to establish her. It wasn't a nut for nothing scene.
A Nebula original story rather than Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Here we go.
That's how bad it was. I'm sure the movie didn't want to do
He wants a movie for Nebula now?
Better than the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. She's more interesting than the whole freaking movie. Her character is more interesting than everything going on in Guardians of the Galaxy.
So then it did its job. It did its job
that
then.
Was not the
movie did its job to make her interesting.
To make her more interesting than all the other characters. Because all the other characters are crap.
If that's what you got from it, then somebody did their job then because they made her more interesting. Like those other characters are already established.
Balls. That's not a good thing. If other characters are interesting,
I don't know why they suck balls.
I don't know why
Minister's
like he has this whole big thing again. Start Guardians 2. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who in his family they messed
boring.
up.
It's boring. It's not funny.
It is funny.
It's really funny.
What Joe made you laugh?
Any scene with Batista,
I'm Mary fucking Poppins. Oh my god.
The Mantis.
Yeah.
Baby Groot.
The Mantis is. Oh, I love her.
Aside from the very beginning of the movie, what made you laugh?
Star-Lord is still pretty funny.
Aside from the very beginning of the movie, what made you laugh? Because when Star-Lord was talking with the Golden people, that was pretty funny. First 15 minutes. When that scene passes, that's it. Everything else is trash.
The scene where when Mantis is like reading the feelings of Star-Lord, and you see like Drax in the background laughing at him.
That was mediocre.
That was funny.
That was mediocre.
I would say
this from the guy who likes the Flash.
Batista was actually funny in that movie. As Drax, he was really funny in that movie.
Listening to Drax do a forced laugh became overbearing and annoying later on. Come on.
What about when Mantis Ghost talks to him and he's like, I'm imagining you and I'm just throwing up.
Actually, that's a smirk. That's a smirk. I'll give you that. That is actually a smirk.
Oh my god.
That's a smirk. But I'm sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy did not become a good comedy. Did not have too much funny jokes. Like I said, after the first 15 minutes, there's nothing left in the movie. No comedy. No
you want to talk like character development too?
Garbage
like,
action.
In the movie.
Oh, but I'll give you what.
Hold on.
Has great
Hold
visuals.
on, E. Let me say this point real quick. The point where Mantis like has that, they kind of like set the whole thing where she can read feelings, and then she like reads Drax's feelings and like kind of breaks down and like kind of shows like how he's dealing with all that emotion at the same time but never shows it. That's character development towards Drax, so showing that like, he's carrying all this weight on him that doesn't break him, but it would break a normal person like Mantis.
Yeah.
You know what? You just
he laughs
you
it all
just-
off.
you just-
he laughs
you-
it all off
you
like
just
that way.
hanged on one extra point. Congratulations, it's still buns. Again, a little
Because I read the
extra
movie better than you
I-
did. It's just showing your
It's
review is
still
not good,
buns.
E.
It's
If
still-
I'm giving you
got
what they
one
showed
point.
in the movie.
Oh, there was one specific point for Drax that was interesting after that first 15 minutes of the movie.
We have to point out every
Way
good
to
point in the
go.
movie for you to accept
The
it's a good
movie's
movie?
still
Is that what we have to
trash.
do now,
The
Minister?
movie is still
What
trash.
What
still
about the
trash.
blue guy really actually caring for Star-Lord? I forgot what his name is.
Yondu.
Yeah.
That
Yondu.
Yeah, that was like awesome. Like he's like he
It's
was
like that
his
whole
father.
line, he was your father, but he ain't your daddy. Come on.
Yeah, that was
That's
awesome.
so
Just
predictable.
the story of Peter Quill.
Who-
Like he
alright,
has to
tell me
face
something.
he has to face a
Who
villain.
didn't know that he was
that's
going to
on
die?
different scale.
Who didn't know that he was going to die in that like last 20
I
minutes?
did it.
Oh, please. I was like, here comes the
But
sacrifice.
doesn't matter. Like it's what's the impact you get
There's
from the
no
movie.
impact when it's
We said
so
it already. A lot
obvious
of
that
Marvel
it's
movies
coming.
are predictable. We're not going in there for like an entirely
So,
like
if
surprising
you wanna talk
movie.
about
That's not what
this,
Marvel
hold on.
does.
If you wanna talk-
there's an impact you get from that movie.
If you want to talk
no
predictable
suspense.
really quickly here, Minister, let's say,
Predictability, too predictable.
With Captain America Winter Soldier, did any of us know at the end of Captain America that Bucky was not coming back as Winter Soldier? But did it not make it any less epic when he did come back as Winter Soldier? It's like, even though it's predictable, it doesn't make it as bad. It's like at the end of Winter Soldier, at the end of Captain America, we all knew Bucky was coming back, but it was still good when he came back as Winter Soldier, and it made that a good movie.
Yeah, but it's not like the story force-fed it to you like, oh, he's coming back, y'all. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the predictability.
Yes, it
We
was.
all
It was in
knew it.
trailers and everything.
Yeah. We
It
all
was-
know because we know
The
the
name of the
story.
movie was Winter Soldier.
We all know it because we know the story. We know the backstory. We know the comics. Guardians of the Galaxy, you could never watch a Marvel
Okay.
movie in your life. You could have known, oh, Yondu's going to sacrifice himself to save Star-Lord. Right at,
I disagree.
Right at that last
I feel
30,
like
20
you think
minutes,
that
you're like,
because
oh,
you watch
here
a lot
we
of
go.
movies and you watch a lot of Marvel
Here we
movies.
go. Listen, it was too
Even if that's the
predictable.
case, it's
It was
how they
too
play it out.
predictable.
It's how
The
they
jokes are
impact
not
how it's
funny.
impacted
Yeah.
Peter's
The
character.
action is worse than mediocre. The only thing this movie really has for it after that
Wow.
first 15 minutes is great visuals. That is it. Story below mediocre. Comedy, comedy
Story and
on
action
the
is below
bottom
mediocre.
tier.
Nope, I
Comedy
can't
on the
believe it.
bottom tier.
Wow.
How does this go? How does this not beat Thor 2? Because like you didn't even have to say, you didn't even have anything like negative to say about Thor 2. To be honest, not on this.
Thor 2,
Like yeah, it sounds like you hate Guardians 2 more than Thor 2.
because
like,
Guardians 2 had a better setup than Thor that Thor did. Like Thor 1 wasn't that good, and then Thor 2, you know, it's not like it had like great source material to pull itself, you know, on top. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was excellent, and then you got that piece of crap from this for the second movie. It's like, what you guys do? Like you couldn't even follow like a little bit of the source material and make something pertinent. You know, that's what made it even worse. But Thor 2 is just garbage from
they don't
beginning
have
to
to
end.
follow the source material. They didn't follow the source material exactly for the first one, and it still knocked
The
it out
reason
the park.
why Thor,
And people generally
the
like
reason why
Guardians
Thor
2.
is worse than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because at least Guardians of the Galaxy first 15 minutes is still good. Thor 2, I can't even remember the first 15 minutes of Thor 2. so that says it all right there. Like I can't remember it.
I can't either. So I don't know. I
So
can't
it couldn't have
disagree
been
with you
that good
there.
at all.
I honestly don't remember what the first 15 minutes of Thor 2 is.
Exactly. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I know this is hurting Ben's heart, but I'm sorry, man. That movie was
I can't
terrible.
disagree. I can't agree with you, man.
Well,
I can't
terrible.
agree.
I
You're on
could have
your
walked out
own
of that theater
here.
and felt like, hey, you know what? I could give that money up. There's no reason to see the rest of that. I just had to see it if it was going to get better, and it
Wow.
didn't. It did not get better.
well, I don't really know if we solved anything.
Well, we
with
could
this,
do a vote. Well, hang on. We could do a vote, and we could go through these movies, and we could do a vote.
We could do what?
Yeah, which one's the top? Because it's 4 of us, right?
Well, we did. Like we said, like Winter Soldier generally seems. I mean, it's a tie for the top one between Avengers and Winter Soldier. It looks
Okay.
like, and for bottom tier, it looks like Thor 2 took
takes
the
the
cake
cake.
just on majority.
Yeah.
Majority of
Yeah.
us on Thor 2.
You know, on Thor 2, and like it's split between Avengers because like Mez and Kitty liked them, and Winter Soldier. Mez was in the middle with that, and you and I picked it. So Winter Soldier seems to be at least
Best one.
seen as like the top one, or Avengers, either one. Either or is fine with me too. I didn't mind Avengers either, of course. So like I said, I mean, I don't know if we solved anything here. It doesn't look like anybody's mind was changed, but
It was a
Seems like everybody stuck to the guns.
No one's leaving
but
their lane here. Everyone's got their horse to back.
generally, though, I mean, I think this was it was still pretty fun.
It was.
And if people are listening to this, I would like to see, if you want to leave comments, whether or not they agree with what we have here, what their list is, and stuff like that. You can go ahead and leave that down there.
Leave all your hate comments for Minister about how you love
There's gonna
Guardians
be-
of the Galaxy
yep.
2.
Leave all the love comments for Captain America, the
Yeah,
first
right.
down there.
Yeah, right.
Holla at your boys.
Show that Doctor Strange
Captain America
needs
fans.
to be up there. That joint needed to be a longer. If you wanted the movie to be longer, that's not a bad movie. Let's go. Top tier. Come on, man.
So yeah, I know everyone's gonna have different opinions of what their top is. I see bottoms and stuff like that. So I find it interesting. Leave the comments if you are listening to this and stuff. But yeah, this has been, I guess, the inaugural episode of Battlecast. I think it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was a bad.
Like I said, I don't think we solved anything, but I think
That's
it's fun enough that we might do some more in the future. We might do another one in the future. We gotta get a good topic that has like a whole bunch of like options and stuff like this that we can really dive into and stuff. So I think we might come back to this, but I think that's it for it. I'm Bit W Zan, joined by my friends Minister, Mez, and Secret Kitty, and this has been the Battlecast. See you later, guys.